Hey folks, welcome to Bfly Bricks. I hope you're all well. In today's video, it's my Octan fuel tanker MOC. Now I don't do instructions, but I'll show you lots of details of how I built this. And if you enjoyed today's video, then please do give it a like. I decided to go for a larger 8 stud wide build for this one, as I'm actually starting to think that LEGO City trucks should be wider than cars, as in real life they certainly are. It's actually one of the biggest trucks I've made. It only just fits onto my Lazy Susan, which I use for filming. I have of course gone for the obligatory red, white and green. Doesn't mean it's Italian, it's the Octan colours. But they do always make me think of pasta, so hey, maybe this tanker actually has a tank full of pomodorini tomato sauce and not diesel. I love the whole Octan thing. In fact, when I was a kid, LEGO had just finished its deal with Shell and had then created its own fictional oil company for the sets. And I actually got this set from my parents as a gift when I went to Legoland Denmark in the early 90s. It was great. But my favourite Octan thing was the flying Octan trucks in the Lego movie, and the whole idea that Octan was an evil corporation. It was quite funny. I never did have the petrol station, it was very expensive, but I was quite content with the tanker. Later on in the range, they did make a smaller tanker. There were racing trucks. Again, I remember this being very expensive. I didn't even know anyone who had this set. And of course, in the modern age, they had done some fantastic racing trucks. There was a small tanker back in 2013, and we've had several service stations, but the best Octan vehicle for me was the large 2010 tanker. And I don't think we'll ever get a large tanker truck again from LEGO, as they seem to be shying away from this and the oil industry in general. And they've got lots of electric cars and electric charging points now in city sets. I'd love to have a big Octan tanker, so of course then I had to go and make my own one, and I used the parts from the 2010 set, especially the bits with stickers on them. As you can see, I've incorporated those parts, and I used those cylindrical pieces for the body of the tanker, but I've beefed it up top and bottom with much larger wheels and a wider frame. I reused the hose underneath but added more details here. It clips on simply with a Technic pin, and I set the trailer back quite far from the cab to give it more of a turning circle. My inspiration came from lots of different trucks. I looked at all sorts, but I really wanted to make a more flat-fronted cab-over design, a bit like Optimus Prime, who is kinda like a 1970s Freightliner or Peterbilt, but I made a more modern version. And I looked at the long US and Canadian style tanker trucks for references for my trailer. I'm sure you can see the inspiration from these in my final MOC. I made the big rig a real chunky vehicle, something LEGO would probably never make at the scale, and my favourite part is the 8 wheels at the back. I think they just look so cool. The trailer is quite high off the ground to fit with the rig, and it's a lot longer than the original 2010 version. I made a small and simple interior for the driver. There's a wee space behind him for a toolbox or maybe his lunch. I enclosed the cab entirely with a few smoky trans clear pieces. It also has lots of lights up top. At the back, I used this yellow piece to sort of represent the hydraulics for the trailer attachment. If I remove this section, you can see it's actually quite small inside the truck, even though it's 8 studs wide. That's because the main cab itself is just 6 studs wide. On the front, I used the stickered piece from a Jurassic World truck. Otherwise, I would have just used those black grille pieces. The rest of the front of the cab is really straightforward, using snot bricks, and there's those wide red fender wheel arch pieces which are from a Speed Champions Ferrari. The fuel tanks are Technic barrels with a single point of attachment, and at the back there I used the stickered bricks from the 2010 set. The wheels are done using those shorter tan Technic bars that fit into those red Technic cross bricks. It's really simple and it makes for really smooth running wheels. The trailer has a wee box on either side and some computer things, dials and a hose. Around the back is an access ladder. The wheels are done with 6 of those modified grey plate pieces, which gives it more strength and width. I wonder, will LEGO ever make a large truck like this for its city range? Probably not, and I definitely don't think they'll ever make an oil tanker again. I'm really happy with how it turned out, but I guess I'll have to make a large service station someday to go along with it. Anyways, thanks for watching until the end, and if you enjoyed the MOC and the video, then please do give it a like. It really gives a boost to get a few likes on a video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye!